Halloween month 2022. I am the Kaiju no Kami, and I am kicking this month off with Halloween Kills, the second of the new Halloween trilogy. Due to the resounding success of Halloween 2018, Danny McBride and his crew decide to continue their brand new Halloween timeline. If you do not know what that is, they announced 2 new films in order to have a nice trilogy of terror where Michael was not actually Laurie's sister, but rather just someone he went after because she happened to step on his front porch. It was a fantastic idea, but due to how incredible 2018 turned out to be, could Kills even live up to that? Were our dreams for this movie killed? Did COVID affect it? Let's find out. The characters and plot. Halloween Kills kicks off just mere moments after the previous installment. And if you haven't seen the 2018 movie before, there's gonna be some massive spoilers. Laurie, Karen, and Allison trap Michael within Laurie's basement, setting the house ablaze with the expectations that he would burn to death. Unfortunately for them, that does not happen as Michael is unknowingly rescued by a bunch of firefighters. A trail of bodies is left behind Michael as he makes his way across Haddonfield, which Laurie and Karen believe is to the hospital she is situated at.
No, he is on his way here. I keep telling them that. He is stalking her, and we are staying here to protect her.
On top of the Strode Nelson family, we are introduced to a couple of players who were terrorized by Michael back in 1978, celebrating their trauma by getting drunk at a bar. We've got Tommy Doyle, the boy Laurie was babysitting that night.
I just want you to know, when he gets here, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Because 40 years ago, when I was a kid, you protected me. So tonight, I'm gonna protect you.
Hey, you know what? If Tommy has actually accomplished anything in his 40 years, it's becoming a master of exposition dumps. Lindsay Wallace, Tommy's friend and neighbor whose babysitter and friend of Laurie was murdered by Michael.
Now we have lovely Miss Lindsay Wallace. Her babysitter, Annie Brackett, was executed that night.
Yeah? I just said that? Loomis's assistant, Marianne Crane.
Hey, Michael! This is for Dr. Loomis.
And Lonnie Alam.
You knew my dad?
Yeah, I knew Ray. He used to sell me peyote.
What happened to the dialogue in this film? The last movie had a lot of great lines. Here it's just... what happened? If you are puzzled as to who Lonnie is, he was the boy that bullied Tommy in the original film for one scene, and then Loomis had fun scaring the crap out of for another.
Yeah, I used to bust this guy's balls when we were kids, but he is all grown up now.
Busting his balls. Is that how you justify bullying? Oh, I'm sorry. I know it caused you utter mental and physical pain, but I was just playing around. Right. By the way, if you are puzzled as to when he encountered Michael, it's shown in a flashback sequence from this film that Michael walked past him on his way home. I do think it is pretty cool that they got Nancy Stevens and Kylie Richards back to reprise their roles from the original film. On the other hand, Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Longstreet portray Tommy and Lonnie, and they're a mixed bag. I really don't see a resemblance between Hall's Tommy here to Brian Andrews in the original, but it has been 40 years, so I'll give them some leeway. However, I am not a fan of how much Hall phones in his performance here. Sometimes he sounds utterly bored, while at other times he overreacts.
Any of you know the story of the Haddonfield Boogeyman? Too young to give a shit, too drunk to remember? 40 years ago, a madman escaped from a mental hospital.
Do you see what I mean? Exposition dump king indeed. Let's see what his other personality is like.
Michael Myers will be executed tonight, and it will not go without witness. Evil dies tonight. No, Sheriff, we will not calm down. We have watched your department fail. Fail tonight.
Yes, this is Tommy in a nutshell. Ugh, I don't know. It's quite ridiculous as Tommy is all over the place on personality, as if director David Gordon Green and McBride had no idea how they wanted to write Tommy. As for Lonnie, given he wasn't a vital character in the original film, I do think Longstreet did an adequate job, not to mention consistent. Lindsay and Marion are fine for what little material they have to work with, as they seem to be here for fan service more than anything else. There's also a couple that chat with them and work with them for a part of the film. Ultimately, they're just here to die. Speaking of Lonnie, do you remember Ellison's asshole boyfriend from before? The one she left during the dance party after he threw her phone into the gelatin bowl? Well, he's back and turns out he is Lonnie's son.
Allison, are you okay? I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry. I just want to help in any way I can, okay?
He ends up finding Will Patton's officer Hawkins, who miraculously survived being stabbed and run over by Sartain.
Come on, look at me, stay with me.
He's taken to the hospital and ends up sharing rooms with Laurie. While it is a tad odd to find out he survived the first film, we do get to learn more about his confrontation with Michael back in 1978 through a series of flashbacks.
Drop him or I'll shoot! Michael! I'm warning you!
I have to say that they did a fantastic job of bringing 1978 Haddonfield back to life. It is hands down the best recreation of the original house compared to what every other sequel in the franchise attempted to do. There are two more couples who sort of play a pivotal role in this film, at least as far as Michael's killing spree goes. The woman who showed our podcast duo Judas Grave in the last movie and her husband are brutally killed by Michael for some reason.
Call the cops!
Finally, there is Big John and Little John. They live in what used to be the Myers house, especially when a trio of trick-or-treating brats attempt to scare them, only for the opposite to occur.
Do you have any idea whose house this was?
No.
You ever hear of Michael fucking Myers?
Thank you for more exposition, but on the other hand, it's worth it for this scene.
Get out of my yard, you little pervert!
Those kids earned that. Unfortunately, the plot of the film is all over the place. Everyone is expecting Michael to come after Laurie, only for a twist to occur that was kinda clever, yet frustrating. What's worse is that most of the characters were here just to die, making this movie come off as nothing more than a filler episodes just so there could be a movie trilogy. The acting is subpar, there is a lot of exposition happening, and you will probably find yourself annoyed with hearing "Evil dies tonight" by the time the movie ends.
Evil dies tonight!
Evil dies tonight!
All right, evil dies tonight!
Likewise, some of the characters start acting really stupid in the last act. Alternatively, it is still better than half of the Halloween franchise, as it does have a lot of excellent moments of suspense and tension that will keep you engaged for the most part. I also feel the extended cut's 5 minutes of additional footage does improve the film a tad. I almost forgot! Charles Cyphers reprises his role as Sheriff Brackett.
Hey, Michael. It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare.
That's cool, I guess. The effects and music. No matter the quality of film, if there is one thing you can count on in a Halloween movie, it is an incredible soundtrack. John Carpenter, his son and godson, return to helm the movie's tunes, and they are nothing short of glorious. The score enhances the energy to the point that even the most lackluster scenes will boil your blood in anticipation for what is going to happen next. This movie would simply fall apart had it not been for the music. The effects work is equally astounding. The burned look for Michael feels like a natural progression of the character. However, it is the cinematography where this movie shines. The scene towards the beginning of the film where we get to see Michael take on a bunch of firefighters in front of a burning house is spectacularly shot. It is hands down the best sequence in the movie. I really love that shot when it goes into first person mode. There's another solid atmospheric sequence towards the end of the film when Michael is taking on Tommy.
Maybe we'll find him tomorrow.
And, as I mentioned earlier, the recreated 1978 look is stunning. Hell, the guy they got to portray Loomis does a fantastic job, and keeping him in the shadows for close-ups was a brilliant idea.
Tell me, what happened in here? Tell me what happened. Did Michael kill? Did Michael kill again?
Every death scene is put together with finesse. I just wish they hadn't gone overboard. It's like Green and Gang heard the complaints of those who want nothing but blood and gore in their horror films and sacrifice the story to appease them, which is not how a Halloween film should work. Rob Zombie pulled the same crap in his films, and they were complete dog shit for it. Among other reasons. The biggest disappointment I have with this one is there was no continuous shot following Michael in the same manner as the last one. That scene was just jaw-dropping. I am saddened that out of all the things they chose not to repeat, that was one of the few. Halloween Kills is quite a polarizing film. For every moment of greatness, it is hindered by a moment of mediocrity. This movie pretty much just exists so a third film can exist. And I hope it's worth it. Because if Halloween Ends fails, then Halloween Kills fails. And that can ultimately hijack both of these movies. Fortunately, no matter what the case ends up being, Halloween 2018 is a great standalone film that it doesn't matter what else happens. But everything Kills has done rides on ends. And that's a bit scary. That's actually scarier than the movie, which I love. I love this movie, but I don't think it's the best Halloween movie or anywhere near the best. Let's see what Ends has to offer. Until next time, bye.
Evil dies tonight!